on the YouTube page?
I don't think so. Unless, are you able to see the chat on the side?
Let me do comments. Yep, I see everybody.
Okay, then we're good.
All right.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Let me see who is here early. Bored now. Nice to see you. Tony Man 100. Good to see you as well. And Mr. Dan in Horror.
Hi, guys.
Mr. Dan says, fading away, but have a good one all. Long day at work. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, bye, Dan.
Thank you for stopping in. Anyways, that's really nice of you.
We're Black people, so we always start shit late. Politics done.
And I have a different background, I should say, because some of you guys may know my laptop died. So I'm on my desktop and things move a lot slower because my desktop's about 10 years old. But she's hanging in there. I'm pulling up my notes for Hellbound because I took a lot of notes. Like I originally, before my laptop died, I was going to do reviews like episode by episode because it was only 6 episodes. But then that happened. So now
it's really interesting. Like, hi, the dog is fine. She's like, she is somewhere. She's on the couch under the blanket, nice and warm. Okay.
Why is this flickering? Board now says, really need to catch up with the Hellbound looks promising. How many episodes are you in, Board now? So that way I can give a spoiler warning when we get to the point where you haven't passed.
Yeah, no spoilers. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm here, pulling up notes and talking backstage.
Oh, you didn't start it yet, Board now. Okay, so we'll try to be super general at the beginning of this.
Fuck.
But there is only 6 episodes. Some of the episodes are about, well, they vary. There's a couple that are an hour long, a couple that are about 40 minutes
long.
Yeah, it is however long they need to tell the story.
One of the things that I noticed, like I felt about the short series, so like we're being super general, so we're not going to do any spoilers, you guys. So after episode 3, though, I thought we had moved to a second season because the way that it changed when the new priest came on board, I was like, oh, okay, so we're in season 2. But then, like, to learn that we were still in season 1, like it's a really interesting show. Like,
they changed direction. Like, the series starts out following certain characters, and then at a midpoint, it starts following different characters. Is that what you're talking about? Where they shift focus?
Hold on. There we go. Like hold on. Let's mute this. Okay. I was on both backstage and on fucking YouTube at the same time, so I was getting an echo. It just seemed, because like after at the beginning of season 3 with the new priest and just the way that it was told, like it was in a different it had a different feel, it went in a different direction. I mean, it didn't feel like the first 3 seasons, so because I wasn't paying attention, I just assumed that it was the second season, just because it's that much of a difference. Like it like turns 180 after episode 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what I should have done? I meant to do when I was going to do my review. I was going to put a hair curler in the front right here. Like, like that girl, the girl that had the roller in her hair. I found out because I forget which magazine they wrote an article about where that comes from, because if you saw The Witch Part 1, it's a South Korean film where the little girl, she also had a roller in her hair. That's like a style now. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like it's almost their version of how when young Black girls here walk around with a bonnet outside. It's like the same thing. It's like they don't care. It's a roller that they have in their hair at night, but they'll just walk out in the street with it because they don't care. And it's the only thing I can compare it to is our bonnets. When people come out and they're like, I don't care, I still got my bonnet on. Tony Man says, as a whole, it was boring. I did like, see, that's a spoiler right there. Too much talking for me. It was not too much talk in the way it opened up. Like,
I can't
you got
believe
action from the start.
Like it. Like this, what? Okay, oh my God. So the baby scene. Okay, so what? Let me begin from the beginning. So I wasn't watching it like everyone were sitting down and like and binge watching it because I had deadlines to do and I'm working on some stuff in the background. So I was like treating myself after each 1,500 words I wrote. And so episode 4, I think. So the gist is, we're being super general. When you are bound for hell, an entity pops out of the sky, says your name, and says you're going to hell in so many days. And so then that's how you know you're gonna die. And on one of the episodes, this entity said that to a brand new baby, 4 days old. And I was like, nope, I'm turning this off. I'm going to go right. I'm not going to be sucked into this because like, if I sit here and watch the rest of it, this is where I'm going to be. It's so good.
I want to pause and say what's up to Royama in the chat. Royama co-hosts Hood News, or actually it's on Hood Podcast, but we have a show called Hood News. But what's doing really, really well is Royama and Jay have been reviewing Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. And they've been doing an awesome job with that. And they're going to be doing The Witcher as well, the whole series.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I've been like doing really well writing, like getting ready for next year. I turn on the TV, there's Witcher, there's elves, there's like, I'm like, whoa, I can't do this. But like after on December 25th through January 1st, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to be online. I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm going to catch up on my shows so that I can like get back into my life and start writing. I mean, continue like staying on top of my fucking YouTube channel and everything else. So
and don't forget,
I have something coming for you guys January 7th. So I need to like not be so distracted.
Don't forget that The Matrix is this Wednesday too.
Why do you do that to me? Like, why? Like, why?
That's a great Christmas movie for me. I'm like, yes, this is a good Christmas. We need to see The Matrix. But let me look at my notes because I know I probably forgot something. I like how.
What did you think of the overall premise, you guys, of the show? Like, what did you guys think about, like the premise of it? Like, the I don't know what they're calling them, like the angels who come to let you know you're done for. Like, you guys
prophecy. I think
like,
they call it a prophecy. You receive a prophecy, and then like the creatures from hell come and get you.
I liked those. I loved those. Like, they are so like, it's interesting how they look like smoke and mist, and at the same time they're very solid, that they can interact with this dimension of our world. I really liked them. I like the angels. I think that because if I had that prophecy, I would probably, and if I had like a lot of time left, I would be fucking wild since I'm going to hell anyway, right? Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, I'd be on a stripper pole. I would be drinking. Like, I would just be having a hot girl summer every fucking day. You know what I mean? Because I'm bound for hell anyway. Like, it's just interesting how, like, that takes away, like, when they come to you and tell you you're going to hell, there's nothing you can do to redeem yourself. Like, you can't claim Jesus as your Lord and Savior and get baptized and live a righteous life. Once they come for you, it's it. There's nothing you can do.
And I like the opening sequence when they first take that first guy. Like, let me describe it because it's in the first like 5 minutes of the show, so I won't consider a spoiler because it's literally the first 5 minutes. The opening.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
The opening is in a coffee shop, which pretty much it looks like a Starbucks. Even the cups are like have like the little green decal on it. It looks like it's a Starbucks. And there's these group of young people at a table, and they're watching someone on the internet talk about these prophecies, and then the hellbound people that come and get them. And the young man at the table is like, do you believe this is just internet stuff? This is not real. And the young lady's like, well, you should listen to these videos because there's something here. The camera pans slowly over from them to a gentleman that's at a table, and he's nervously looking at his phone, watching the clock.
He's not nervous. He's fucking terrified.
Yes. And when it turns to that specific time and nothing happens, he breathes a sigh of relief. And the show lets you get comfortable for about 30 seconds. And then the way those creatures effed him up down the street, they dragged his face across a bus and left nothing but a blood smear. It was just, and I wrote in my notes that these creatures look like they were a combination of like if Venom had a baby with the Abomination.
Oh my God,
that's what they look like.
That is spot on. Oh, I love them. I love that, like, because they look like the Hulk kind of, but you can see every single muscle in their bodies, like, because there's no skin and there's no muscle. They're all like made of ember and smoke and ash, but they're so bomb. And then like I am a creature feature. I love monsters. I don't like it when the monster is shown if it's done badly, but they put every single dime that needed to be put in to make these creatures. It was just like, I was just like, oh, and even the opening scenes when how the show, like the opening sequence where the people are seeing this for the first time, but we only see their insides. Like we don't see their skin. It's the skeleton and the blood running through. I loved it. I loved it. Like I loved it. I loved it.
And the reason for the chat, the reason why I'm not showing any imagery is because Netflix will, even though this is Netflix Korea, they still will hit you with a copyright. They don't like free advertisement. I don't know what their problem is. I would have loved to show that open sequence, but no, I'm not playing anymore. They will shut down your live so fast. I've learned my lesson. Matter of fact, last week we played a trailer for 90 Day Fiance and we got
pure brimstone. Yep, that's right. That's exactly what they were made of.
Oh, I was saying that even last week, I showed a trailer from 90 Day Fiance and we got dinged.
Really?
It's a trailer. Yeah.
That was my first ding too. Like you guys, you know how I do live action reviews and I put the trailer in. And so they, but my ding was for the whole video. And I was like, you guys, I can take the trailer out, but this is me giving commentary. None of their stuff is shown. They removed my video. I'm like, you're copywriting me? This is me. Like, no. Then I just, they took
after a while, you'll get to know which companies do it. That's why you don't see me reviewing Warner Brothers anymore. After I did it, I think the last Warner Brothers I did was The Conjuring. After that, I just don't even mess with Warner Brothers anymore because they don't want free advertising. They don't want any type of reviews. So if I see it says Warner Brothers, I won't even mess with it.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Oh, did you notice who wrote and directed this?
No.
It is directed by Yoon Sang-ho, who is the director of Train to Busan.
Shut the fuck up. No wonder. No wonder. It like I was saying, you guys, how it pivots after season 3 is because the leaders change. And the first leader was kind of like he was compassionate. He was trying to spread the word so that people can live a righteous life. He was trying to, like ease people into this new reality that the world had come into. And so when when episode 4 happened, we get a new priest who is the complete opposite. He is a cult leader, but he's also power hungry and he doesn't believe in the creed. And you can see this as episodes 4, 5, and 6 happens because they are doing everything they can to suppress information, right? Like, and then the way that he became the priest, like there's weird, you haven't seen it, so I can't say anything, but like he was bribed. And so like it made it was obvious that going forward that he was corrupted.
And then we have to talk about my impression. I gotta do this impression because I was gonna paint my face, but I was like, nah, I don't have enough black lights. But the dude, the arrowhead, the arrowhead.
My favorite part of that when he was like, when we were watching his stream, were the little ads at the bottom. Like, you know, when you're watching YouTube, they pop up the ads, and then to find out who he was later, like, and the corrupted king, the priest of this new cult, because when it was episodes 1, 2, and 3 was like a movement, and then the following was like a cult. Like, it just was like split down the middle, because I swear to God, I thought that I was watching a second season. And so the corrupted leader was trying to manipulate the guy into making him do what he wanted, but he messed it up. And like what did he think? Like, what did he think was going to happen? Like,
and there's a side plot of a police officer looking for his daughter. There's so much. Well, you know, if you've ever watched a Korean drama series, you know there's going to be a lot going on. And this is both a Korean drama and horror series, and actually mystery thriller as well. Yeah.
And so like, that's why it was like, it felt like a different season, because after episode 3, he was gone, the daughter was gone, the lawyer was dead, and then like,
you just
sorry, guys. I'm
Crystal,
sorry.
I'm not going to spoil it. 2 seconds later, and then this happened.
The Truth Picture Show, we're talking about Hellbound.
And I will put Crystal's channel in the chat. I'll also put it on the scroll.
That's what you're asking. Sorry. I'm sorry about that, guys. Like, yeah, I get super excited, and so sorry about that. But it was just because we're speaking of the side plots, and so okay, I promise you guys, I'm not going to do any more spoilers. But remember the first public display of the demonstration? That's another side plot, because did you notice what happened in episode 6?
I'm not sure, because they're all run together in my head.
What? I can't
That's
even
why I have my notes.
Because I'm not going to do. I'll call you when this is over, so that I can tell you who has all seen all 6 episodes. Oh, Chris is like, Chris Hurd is actually here for the spoilers, but someone here hasn't seen it. Oh, bored now. You will remember it, because yeah, me too, Tony, the cop. Yep, I was like, what happened? Didn't it seem like it was a new episode? Everyone is quiet. We're just reading your comments, guys. Sorry.
Okay, can everyone see a ticker banner at the bottom?
A sticker banner?
No, ticker, like a banner that scrolls across the bottom.
No.
Wait,
hold on. Yes? I don't know, dude.
I'll check on my phone.
All right.
Let me go back to...
Hi, Chris. What's Rihanna said no? Everyone is saying no to seeing all of the episodes? Thank you for my sub board. I hope to keep you entertained. Oh, the Trusted Picture Show. Thank you, you guys. Tony, I can't believe you didn't like this series.
Let me also shout out Chris for being here. She is also on the Hood Podcast. I don't know whether you were here, Chris, but I already talked about Hood Podcast and about Wariyama and Jay reviewing Wheel of Time and doing really well doing that. And we should also be reviewing, what else are we doing this week? Hawkeye. We're doing Hawkeye, and we're doing we're still, the jury's out. We might be able to fit Matrix in. I'm not sure, but we're definitely doing Hawkeye.
I'm gonna have to not really, I'm so torn, because these shows that are coming up this year are just like, and the movies, I'm like, I'm never gonna get anything done. I'll just be sitting right in front of. Oh, so you're not really into supernatural horror? Why did you watch it then? Tony Man 100. There it is.
There we go.
Oh, I can see it now. Oh, look.
I figured out how to do. I figured out how to do something. Yay!
And so, every time I post a video, I always see that Shasha shared it everywhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that too. Like I'm the worst.
Well, it's going to be hard for you to do it.
Hey! Don't. Like, what's happening? You know better.
Oh, I was going to say, it's going to be easier for you once you get to your 1,000. The YouTube will let you do more stuff.
Oh, okay. I am so far away from 1,000. I think I have like 57 followers.
We're going to get there.
Hold on, you guys. Hey, Ciara, what's the deal? You can go outside. I know that it's snowing, but you just go out and come right back in. I'm not going to put your coat on and take you out. Go outside if you have to go. Just go quick.
For people who are new here, she's not talking to a child. That is a dog. She's not sending her child outside at night. And I did see her coats.
Did you see the one that the guy gave her for free?
No.
Yeah, you got to go back and look at that. Wait, were you just outside? Are you looking for a treat? Your ears
lift her up so everybody can see her.
Okay. Come here. My little fat dog. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is my Ciara. Ciara, say hi. She hates it. Ouch! Okay. Ciara, say hi.
She said, I just want your attention, but I don't want to say hi.
Okay, down. She wants a treat, but I can't go get it because, of course,
Trash Picture Show, you're right. When you binge them, they do all blend together. So when you say, oh, this happened episode such and such, I watched them all in one day. So I can't remember what happened when. Okay. It was like one big movie for me because I just watched them back to back on a Saturday.
So then I can't even tell you because like the one, there's a significant subplot or what's going to become like a episode? No. What is epilogue? So the first woman who was had a public demonstration. Mm-hmm. I don't think her story is over.
Oh yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like I did like Moral Country and the series directed by the picture show. Thanks guys. Yeah, she's like okay, so the other thing, like I think again, like in the season finale, there's so much that is promising a new season. There's so much going on because we have I can't even say anything because I promise no spoilers.
I will say this is what's interesting. It's kind of spoilery, but since we already said what the premise of the show is about the receiving a prophecy and then being dragged to hell, the prophecies were of varying times. Like some people received a 7-day prophecy, some people receive a 20-year prophecy, some people received minutes.
Right, like the girl in the car with her dad at the beach.
Yeah. Is Crystal on Trash Picture Show wants to know if Crystal is on Twitter. Yes, she's on Twitter. I'm
everywhere. I just don't.
What is your Twitter handle? I can add it to the scroll.
Okay, guys. So pick up your pins. I'm going to let you know where I'm at. So I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you guys a 5 countdown so you guys can get your pins. So 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Okay. So on TikTok, on Twitter, I'm at From the Author. And on IG and TikTok, I am Notes from the Author. And then here on YouTube, I am Wordsmith Crystal Connor on YouTube. Sub for your channel to be. Oh yes. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And then like coming next year, I'm. Oh, did I say IG, Twitter? Where else? What am I missing? Nothing.
Mm-mm.
Instagram. Where on my Instagram? Oh, that's IG. Never mind. I gotta like really focus on like staying on top of like sharing content, letting you guys know that my content is live.
There we go. Let's see if this corrects that. Show.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I really like that streaming thing on the bottom.
I'm learning how to do this stuff because I haven't streamed in a minute. And there's some people that have this stream thing on lock. I was watching a lady today. She had the comments automatically popping up on the screen on one side. She had closed captioning on that was saying like, and then she was able to put the images up as she's talking. And I'm like, I want to be on her level. And then she took an ad break to talk about her website. And she had a book that she wrote. She had a book that she wrote. She had jewelry she was selling. She had a makeup kit. I was like, this lady is just, she is just doing it. I was like, I'm so far behind. And she's around our age. So it's not like, you know, it's, at first I was like, it's not like this is something we can't do. Cause, she's definitely in the Gen X. Then she said, oh yeah. I had a child hook this up for me. It was like a 9-year-old. And I was like,
okay,
that's why your tech is so bomb. I need to talk to my nephew. He's 13. Maybe he can help me out.
So you guys, I'm going to share this story. Speaking of Gen X, it has nothing to do whatsoever with what we're talking about, but she just made me think of it. So on Sunday, I went to get a pedicure, and I was feeling kind of bad because the only people who are getting anything from me for Christmas are bills. So I go and get my pedicure. I'm sitting there, soaking my feet. You know how pedicures work, right? And so this woman comes in, an older white woman, and she starts yelling at a woman who's getting her nails done, and she's screaming at her, and she's like, "You just wait until you get my age, and some woman comes along who's young enough to be your daughter and steals your husband, and see how you like it." And so she's like sitting there with her nails, and she looks up and she's like, "Brenda, I'm 7 years older than you and 1 year older than Harold." Could you fucking imagine? Could you fucking imagine? And so when Brenda finally left, the girl who was doing my toes, she leans in, she's like, "Black don't crack." I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God. Could you imagine how devastating it would be to, one, have your significant other cheating on you with someone you think could be your child, and you find out that they're older than you? That's a horror story of it in itself. So yeah.
I've had that happen to me in a store where this lady was like, "Oh, you'll understand when you get to be my age." And I was like, "How old are you?" And she was like, "I'm 35. I'm like, oh my God, I was your age 10 years ago. That was the funniest thing though. And my mother was sitting there with me too. I'm like, I wonder how old she thinks she is.
We missed you too, Marian Hope. I don't know what happened. I just completely I was in that 7-car pileup. It's been a really weird, just a really weird couple of weeks. So that's why we haven't been consistent. It's because of my shit that's going on here in Seattle.
Yeah, it's been a rough one. Oh, I didn't tell everybody this, but another thing that has been going on is I just did another blood test to see if I have another deficiency aside from the anemia one. So I'm waiting for that to come back, and hopefully that'll tell me what the hell is wrong. It's I'm trying to keep it together though.
Hi, Clapper Ladder. Thank you for the shout out.
She also has a great channel. Shout out to Clapper Loader. You know what? If you don't know, this is a clapper loader. That's the term for it. and that's what her channel is called. It's in podcast form, and she also talks about I think it's mostly horror movies, but I think she might also, correct me if I'm wrong, Clapper Loader, that you also do some science fiction and action movies, but I think I mostly saw horror movies on your channel. And I didn't mention Trash Picture Show. He had a great live stream yesterday. And I'm not saying that just because I was on it, but we talked about some Christmas horror movies on his channel. So it's great to see everybody coming through. Marion Hope says, that just means that y'all look good with a T. Thank you, Marion Hope.
Mostly horror and now Spider-Man. How does that work out?
Yes, you're right, Trash Picture Show. I'm using the free version. So I can't do all there's a paid version for StreamYard, and I'm not ready to pay for StreamYard yet, so I'm doing as much as I can with the free version. I do the free version of everything. Power Director, free version. What's the other one? Canva, to make if you guys are interested in making thumbnails, Canva is a nice free app that you can use on your phone. You can make your thumbnails on your telephone. I would love to talk about Spider-Man, but I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet because the tickets were sold out. Like for weeks.
Did you see that as a pre-screener for press only?
No, I did not. I'm not that lucky. So bored now. That is what's
latte. Up. You know what? That sounds like something like I would drink here in Seattle. A Fox Minky latte. I'm gonna go to Starbucks tomorrow and see if they can make me that.
Faux
minky,
like a fake mink latte. It sounds luxurious though. The name,
doesn't it?
The universe effing with everybody. Yes, it is. Well, the thing is, we're about to go into. I don't want to get into the whole I don't know if people are into
Mercury retrograde and it's
the phase of the moon and type of thing. Yeah, and us moving into the age of Aquarius and enlightenment, and things are definitely going to change and be revealed, as they say.
What's happening? You can go outside. Like
no problem. That's the let me see if I can say it like he would say it. Jay says that's some days of our live shite right there. I love his accent. If he was here to say it, it would sound so pretty.
I can't play ball right now. I'm live.
I hear the new Spider-Man is the darkest of Holland Spidey films. I wouldn't describe it as darker, but it definitely has a more serious tone than Marvel tends to have more of a lighthearted tone, and the new Spider-Man still has some lighthearted moments, but there are some things that are kind of sad that tug at your heartstrings.
What's happening? What?
And there's some things in it that they don't explain to the general audience. Like if you're just a casual viewer, you probably won't pick up on certain things in the new Spider-Man. But if you have watched all the Netflix series, if you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., there's stuff there that they just put it there. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. And I thought that was really cool how they did that. It's like you're looking at it, you're like, oh, that's from such and such. And there's even stuff there that ties back to the current season of Hawkeye. And Black Widow in a way too. Like you know how Marvel is. They like to make things very, I don't know, like a mystery for people to unfold, like to put all these different pieces together. I think that's kind of cool.
Mercury is coming back into retrograde, son. I'm sorry, love. It is.
What you said, Mercury retrograde is coming. No. I don't know why that's necessarily a bad thing, but maybe it's according to your birth sign. You know what I should do, since our stream is all over.
Another fucking idea.
Since we're all over the place, what do you guys want to talk about? Because now I'm just like, let's talk about anything.
We don't want to give spoilers away.
Yeah. So whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about. Let's see. Cool. I like his other two, so we'll check it out. I think. Oh, another. I can't say that. I almost slipped up. No, can't say it. It would be too spoilery. But I haven't heard any complaints. I'll say that. Clapper Loader says, I didn't do a spoiler review yet for Spider-Man because I didn't want to spoil. Yeah, exactly. Like I probably wouldn't do a spoiler review until at least after Christmas. So people have time to see it, because When the tickets went on sale 2 weeks ahead of time, they were sold out, and some people were trying to resell them on eBay for like $2,500 and more. So it was hard for people to get tickets. So
That's
probably this
bullshit.
weekend.
Like, why would you do that? Like, I mean, and I'm sure people bought those tickets at that price, but damn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you should have seen for was it? I think it was one of the BTS concerts. Scalpers had bought the tickets and were reselling them for $50,000.
You know what I found out? So like the last book tour I was on, all the books that I sold in Kansas City that I signed was from one buyer, which I didn't know, and he put them all on fucking eBay for $1,100 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool, Crystal.
No,
your signature is worth $1,100 so far. It can only go up from here.
But like, if I'm selling it for $1,100, fine. But like, once I sell you a book for $15 and then you resell it for $1,100, like I'm just the middleman here. Like, what? Like, come on, support me. I'm a starving fucking artist.
This is true. Tony, man, you just want to be the contrarian tonight, don't you? Hellbound was boring. Spider-Man was just okay. You're just too cool for it all, aren't you? I'm about to start crying real tears now. Can't it just skip us with that? I'm sure you can find some like candle magic and do some spells of protection. You'll be all right. Well, never heard of cinema tickets having scalp tickets. Must be more of it. Yeah, in US they will scalp a ticket to anything.
Yep, they will.
Anything they can resell, they will resell. Yep. Just either look at this. I was only able to get one Eternals toy from Happy Meals because I think the employees at McDonald's were stealing the Eternals toys because every time I got a Happy Meal, they kept on giving me a Happy Meal with no toy in it. And I'm like, y'all are stealing the toys.
So they could sell it on eBay.
And I only wanted the Happy Meal so I could get the toy. And this isn't even the one that I wanted.
The Trash Picture Show wants to know your thoughts on the Matrix Resurrections. I'm liking the trailers, but because I didn't follow the whole, like, after, in my opinion, you guys don't unfollow me. I think that it got stretched too far. Like, you guys, the most important thing about anyone who's creating anything is to know when to stop. Like, and it's just dragged on and on and on and on. Like, I'm excited for the people who are excited for the new Matrix, but I think I might be skipping that just because I have so much on my plate and I haven't watched all the other stories because it's like watching the soaps. Like, it's just like, when is it ever going to end? Like, you know?
Trash Picture Show. Oh, by the way, his name is Marty. Marty says that he and Monty and others might be having a spoiler discussion on Monty's channel. Oh, Monty, what's his channel? It's the Horror Miser Monty, I believe is his channel name. The Horror Miser Monty's very, very nice gentleman. I've only been able to speak to him through Twitter, but he's been really, really cool. So and I'm assuming you're talking about Spider-Man, a Spider-Man discussion later this week. And you answered the Clapper Loader's question about Matrix Resurrections. I did like the trailer, and I mean, I love Keanu anyways, and I was gonna watch that either way. I actually worked at the movie theater when the Matrix came out, the first Matrix. So I saw it so many times when I worked in the movie theater. I'm probably going to rewatch it. Hopefully on Wednesday I'll have time to rewatch the first 3 Matrix movies before seeing the new one. I'm not sure if I want to take part yet. It depends on when you schedule the show and what's going on family-wise because it's around the holiday. But keep me posted. Just let me know like a day ahead of time so I can figure out what I can do.
You watch movies and you collect toys. I love you. You're a keeper. You should see her collection.
I have so many toys. I have toys. If I would have to squeeze to the side here, but I have a Wonder Woman sword. I have the Shuri blaster fists. One of the toys I have. I got a toy right here. All right, this is Hobie.
Where's your cat? Your cat normally makes an appearance when we're on stage. Yes.
She's with my sister. She's being spoiled.
Okay. Oh my God, you guys, now I have 87 subscribers. Thank you for the ones who just subscribed for me. Woo! How sad is that, right? 87.
We're gonna get more. We're gonna get more. Chris Hurd says, I am hyped about The Matrix because of nostalgia alone.
If I ever worked at a theater, it would be only to get the free popcorn and watch the movies.
I just noticed in Chris's picture she's wearing a umbrella. Is that an Umbrella Corp t-shirt from Resident Evil?
Who is?
Chris. If you look at her default picture, it looks like an Umbrella Corporation t-shirt. Yeah.
She is. Thank you, Trash Picture Show. That's sweet of you. I remember when I was doing when I started doing CrystalCon, and that's a symposium that brings STEM professionals and science fiction writers together to talk about things from both our sides of the perspective. I did that 2 years before COVID hit, and I remember reaching out to scientists. It was really hard because some of them just don't want to be bothered. And I remember the scientist emailed me back. He had looked at my website and he's like, what kind of madness Umbrella Corporation is your site going through? And I was like, that's my scientist. That's the one that I need. Like, he just like totally got it.
Well, which type of scientist were you looking for?
All kinds. So my first convention was so the whole premise of CrystalCon is to answer a new twist on an old age question, which came first, the science or the fiction. And so my first convention was for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So the scientists I was reaching out were working with AIs, nanotechnology, artificial limbs. One of the guys from the Lincoln Lab, and a bunch of science fiction writers who were writing stories about artificial, like that same thing. And so it was sometimes it was heated, but sometimes it was really fun. We had this one game show on Saturday, which was called Fact or Fiction. So we had 4 science fiction writers sitting in a chair, and then a real scientist standing up with a microphone, and he would or she would ask us, or they would explain something, and we would have to guess if it was fact or fiction. And then if we got it wrong, we had to wear a dunce cap. It was super fun. The audience would scream in, and it was just really fun. But like, of course, COVID hit, and then like some of the scientists, because they are scientists in real life, they would schedule, but then they would say no when they got like research projects or like, because they're working scientists, so like it was kind of hard to like secure the high name scientists, because they're sought out by everybody. But like the first 2 conventions that I did was just a fucking blast, and I had vendors. So like for the first year, I had vendors doing like steampunk and like because it was Mary Shelley's. The theme was Frankenstein. So one of the discussions got really heated because it was about the ethical treatment of AIs, and my theory is, if it's God-given or artificial, once something becomes intelligent, then it's a sentient being, right? And so what do you do with that? Like, you can't keep it now that it's self-aware. And you guys remember the project the Google team was working on when they were teaching a computer language. And so what happened is this computer created another computer, and the 2 of them were speaking in a language that humans couldn't understand. And because they were so afraid of what these 2 computers were talking about, they just shut it down. And so basically, I told them, I was like, you killed it. You killed them. You shouldn't have created them in the first place. But then once you found out that they can, they're self-being, you murdered them. So that didn't go well. Like, that was like, because like
but the thing is, it's interesting that we started this conversation about the Matrix, because what did the programs determine that humans were in a Matrix?
A fucking disease.
Yes, a virus. Yeah. They said they could not cataract. They ran multiple tests, and they I guess they did analysis, and this determined that human beings were a virus, and that's probably what these things we're talking about.
show about technology taking over, that is what technology comes to the conclusion of, right? And so, like, even iRobot, the Terminator, fucking War of the Worlds, everything where we have robot or technology becoming self-aware. HAL 3000, he's like, oh, I can't do that. Yes, I told you. And then, like, we have the team in Korea who are creating robots that can tell people no. Okay, so now these guys can think and make their own decisions. The fuck's wrong with you guys? Like, and what got me in trouble was, like, I asked the scientist, I was like, you are one of the most brilliant minds on the planet. And how is it that you didn't just stop to think to yourself, what could possibly go wrong? Like, what did you think a computer that you taught to self-replicate would do? Made another one and created a language that you guys couldn't understand. And so it scared you because now you guys are thinking Skynet and you fucking killed them both. Like, really? Like, how is that ethical? But I digress, okay? Because, like, whew,
there's a movie line that I hear in my head and I can't place it. Somebody in the chat tell me what movie this is from, where the person said, you were so worried about whether you could do this.
Jurassic Park.
You didn't worry about whether you should. Yes,
Jurassic Park.
Before I could even finish it. Yes. Oh, Marion Hope wants to know our thoughts of the upcoming Scream movie. And thank you for calling us lovely.
Again, like, I am vehemently opposed to remakes, especially American remakes of international films, but I'm equally opposed to new American filmmakers remaking American classics because they just fall short. Like, for instance, what was that one that came out? The best part of that movie was the trailer. That's it. Everything else was just gross. Like, was it Evil Dead, where the guy opened the book and read in the cabin? Like, why did you remake that? Like, it didn't need to be.
I like the remake, and I like the amount of blood.
Of course you did, because you're a gore hound. Like,
yes.
If I break my nail, okay, I am not going to be squishing blood out all over the place.
Oh, but this lady took a razor blade and cut her tongue in half. Like, that's entertainment.
It's so boring. Like, I like gore if gore is needed. Like, my favorite movie, The French Inside, that movie was gory because it had to be. There was nothing over the top. Like, my idea of gore is, if you take away the gore and you don't have a movie, then your movie sucks, right? It should be like makeup. I'm already cute, right? If I put on makeup, then I'll be like hot. But when you take the makeup away, I'm still cute. Like, that's how the movie should be. It should still be something, even though I understand that the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but still, like, it's lazy filmmaking when it's just gore and nothing else.
Scary tech. Oh, Marion, I don't know if you saw this comment, says, Crystal, you about to dip your toes into stuff and bring out Skynet.
I'm trying not to. I think our job as science fiction writers is to write parables, right? You want to read these stories and think to yourself, this is not the world that we want to live in. But when scientists in real life that have billions of dollars of grant money, it seems like when they read these books, they throw it down, running down the hall, screaming, challenge accepted. Like, you guys are understanding the assignment. Like, the stuff that's going on in the Lincoln Laboratory is frightening. It's all military. It's so frightening. It's just like, it's like Pandora's box. Like, I don't think we can go back. So now we need to figure out what we're going to do with these things that are thinking. Like, they're not exactly human, but they're no longer just machines.
Trash Picture Show says, if you want to read some insane sci-fi about AI, run amok, read Harlan Ellison's I Have No Mouth Yet I Must Scream. I have seen that book before. I need to pick it up because I remember seeing that, and I always remember that title. Oh, I didn't say what I was going to say about Scream. Unpopular opinion, never been a fan of Scream. I just thought it was okay. I never was like, oh my God, Scream is great. There is a slasher movie parody that I like much better. God, what was it called? It's from the early 80s. And it's a guy with rubber gloves. You can hear him breathing really heavy. Student Bodies. That's what it was called. I liked Student Bodies.
Did you guys know that Scream was based off of a real serial killer?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah. I found that out like a couple of months ago because I'm getting some, like I'm working on another, I'm always writing, but like something else popped into my head. So I'm putting it to the side because that's going to be like a book that I'll start in 2023. But when I was like, I don't know how to explain this, but as a writer, sometimes the characters whisper in my ear. Like I don't have schizophrenia. It is actually the characters. And then like I have to like figure out like what they're trying to tell me so that I can write their story. And so like when I was like trying to like get all this information down so that I can put it to the side so that I can get to it once these two projects I'm working on are done, I found out that Scream was actually based on a real serial killer in California.
That makes sense because a lot of Wes Craven's work is based off of things that happen in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that Student Bodies actually.
It bugs you that they're not calling it Scream 5.
I thought that it was. I thought it was a sequel. I didn't know.
Is it a reboot?
That's what somebody in the chat said. Marion Hope said that they're calling it Scream 2022 a relaunch more than a remake. So that makes it sound like it's a reboot. And I'm not. If Wes was still around, I'd be all for it. But I don't know who's in charge of the filmmaking. So I've had experience being a Nightmare on Elm Street fan of the Wes Craven Nightmare on Elm Streets versus the non-Wes Craven Nightmare on Elm Streets. And if people agree, like the best two are the two that he wrote, which would be 1 and 3.
Right.
Although 2 is really good.
I did hear about The Mist. I read the short story first, and The Mist is one of the very few stories that I've read from Stephen King, and then I was able to watch the movie and I liked it. I loved the short story, but The Mist was good. Like it was better than the story because first it was a full-length feature, and the way that it ended for those of you guys who haven't seen The Mist, I'm not going to give you any spoilers because I think that you should see it, but this man made the ultimate fucking decision, and after he did it, it was just like if he had just held on for 10 minutes, things would have turned out so much more differently. And one of the things that I liked the most about The Mist is because I read a lot about the occult and I like religious horror, was that Christian lady, because she really did whip everybody up in the frenzy. And she did that in the book too. She was my favorite character in both the book and in the movie.
You're right, Board Now. New Nightmare was pretty good also, except for I did not like the redesign of Freddy's clothes. Like, I don't know why he had on leather pants, and it bothered me the whole time. I said, why is Freddy wearing leather pants? That's only something I would notice and have a problem with. But yeah, New Nightmare was good, and that was also Wes Craven. Although I do have a kind of affinity for Part 4 only because I think Part 4 is some of the better special effects, especially the ending part where all the children that Freddy has killed are coming out of his chest and out of the back of his head. And I thought that was a really great effect. And it was done 3 different ways. They had like Robert Englund, and he had like a arm apparatus coming out of the back of his head. There's another scene where they do a close-up, and it's like a latex screen, and then you have extras pushing her body through. The woman who you see the breasts go up as she's pushing her way through is Linnea Quigley, by the way. And then they have a third one, which is like a little bit mid-size, pulled back with the faces screaming. I love special effects. Fun fact, that's what I wanted to do before I graduated high school. My first career choice was to be a practical effects artist. But I lived in a small town in Connecticut and had no idea where I was going to be able to do that. So I went away to regular liberal arts college. And also at the time I was coming out of high school, CGI had just started popping off, and they weren't really, doing the practical effects anymore like that. Or now, it doesn't bother me using numbers to sequels is what killed horror. I disagree. I like horror movies with numbers because I'm very irritated by the Hellraiser sequels. Because I cannot tell you their order because they're not numbered. Like, I know their names. Like, I know there's Hellworld and Inferno and Judgment. But if you just put like 5, 6, 7, and 8, that would help me. I don't need enough, they're not even Hellraiser movies.
When I was in a convention in I think I was in Atlanta, this vendor was selling boxes that actually like moved and you can like move the pieces. And so this kid picked up a box from the vendor because he let everyone touch it. And this black guy came around the corner and the little boy had the box. This man grabbed that box and threw it down the aisle. He's like, what are you doing? And everyone was just like, oh my God, it's not real. It's just a box. He's like, no, it is. Like, and so yeah, like the kid was like, oh, and the vendor was like, dude, like it's just a cardboard box. He's like, no, but like those boxes are really, really nice. They were expensive. I was thinking about buying one just because it was so they were so intricate and
are you talking about the laminate configuration? You keep on saying the box. I'm like, what box is that? You talking about this?
Yeah, but his moved. His moved.
Oh yeah, I don't have money for that one. That's the expensive one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it moved. And so the kid like opened it and he was like, you know, trying to like, and so yeah, the guy was like, nope.
Clapper Loader said, what did you think of Red Eye? Different kind of Craven film. I did not see Red Eye.
I didn't see it. I saw like a little bit, but like it didn't hold my attention. And so I didn't like it. And Tony Man 100, where did that comment go? I didn't like that movie because it is a ripoff of a book from Dean Koontz, and they didn't give credit to him.
Oh, I know what book you're talking about. I think I read that in high school.
Yeah, it's exactly like all the way to the very end. And I'm like, okay, so even the deer, even though like the movie didn't even like follow the book correctly, and it was just all it was so annoying. It was just so fucking annoying. And then they're like, oh, this is an original movie. No, it's not. Like, no, it's not. Like, this is Dean R. Koontz book. Like, what are you doing? So I didn't like it. My brother and my sister's like, oh, you have to watch it. It's like so great. Like a lot of people liked that movie. I didn't, because it was just, it's the book with no credit to the original storyteller.
Trash Picture Show says he's got to go because he is working on a stop motion. If you check out his channel, he does reviews, he does live streams, and he also does really cool stop motion animation. And he just recently did one. He had a special video store memories, and he recreated a miniature of a video store, complete with miniature VHS tapes in it.
That's covers. Crazy. I'm gonna go check out his.
Very, very talented. So thank you for passing through.
See you next time.
Board Now says, I liked Red Eye, stylish mainstream thriller with a good feminist twist. Cool. Let me see. Lady Shasha saying ain't so you're not into Scream? Why are you breaking my heart? I don't hate it. I just don't love it. I just think it's okay. Like I don't have anything negative to say about it. I just don't have a love for it like how other people. So there's really like Scream fans.
Board Now feels the same way.
Yeah, I think it might also be generational because I think that millennials have a different relationship with Scream than Generation X. I've noticed that most people that they really love Scream are millennials, and it could be the time that they saw it. If they were like middle school age or high school age, they probably related to it more. Whereas I was already an adult when it came out. I think I was at least 19 or 20 years old, if not older, when Scream came out. Yeah. Whereas I think if I was 12 when it came out, I have a different relationship to it. Like I do with Ghostbusters. Like I feel like I was the perfect age to watch Ghostbusters. I was 8 years old, and it was like the perfect, even though it wasn't intended for kids, it's a great gateway horror movie for, you want to watch horror, but you're a little kid, but real horror scares you. Ghostbusters is like the perfect, Ghostbusters and Beetlejuice are like the perfect little kid horror movies where I could watch this by myself and not really be scared. But I think maybe people who are later than Generation X, like maybe millennials, and I can't speak for Gen Z, but I don't think they love Ghostbusters as much as I love Ghostbusters. So,
you guys, I'm gonna have to take my dog out because she's not gonna go out by herself.
Okay, I will keep talking. Let's see.
Let me see something. I need to stop my camera because, of course, I'm never dressed on the Zoom meeting.
Oh, I could do that. Hold on. I'm gonna see if this works. Unmute mic. Can you hear me? Okay. How am I gonna know your? Wait, know what? I gotta add you back to the stream. What you can do if you go to the bottom next to mute, it says stop cam.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay,
but it's a black screen. Okay. Okay, where was I? Marion Hope says, now can you need clinics too? Fominky Latte says, I saw Hellraiser this weekend. It was a lot goofier than I remember. Yeah, when that scared the crap out of me when I was younger. The first time I saw Hellraiser, I was about 14 and it came on HBO. And it really, I watched it in the middle of the daytime. It was a Saturday afternoon and it freaked me out. And not for the reason I would think. Like Pinhead didn't bother me so much. And I liked seeing how they did Uncle Frank reanimating from the floorboards. The thing that really bothered me at that age was the blue light coming through the blinds and the cracks in the wall. I don't know why the blue light coming through the cracks in the wall just bothered me so much. That, and when the movers were moving the mattress upstairs and you can see like a nail it was a nail coming out of the side of the wall and you just know that he's going to scratch his hand. That bothered me. I cannot explain why that bothered me more than seeing the Cenobites, but yeah. Well, night trash. I'm not sure what that comment means. Yes, I liked it too. I like the first Scream, much like the first Matrix, and I can go without the sequels. The only thing I remember loving the first Matrix is, like I said, I worked in the movie theater, so I got to see it multiple times. The second Matrix, I want to say, is the one with, is that the second one or the third one with the twins with the dreadlocks and the car fight scene on the roof? And then all I remember from the third Matrix is that man in the room with all the monitors and that they changed the Oracle to a different actress. So that's why I have to rewatch those two. Because, also, I said this on the Halloween live stream because my brother said in the Matrix, I think it was Revolutions, when they had the rave. And I remember my brother saying, well, it's the end of the world. Who would party at the end of the world? And I said, you see, it's a pandemic and people are still partying. There's going to be people that are going to party no matter what. Marion Hope says, I'm 47 years old, far from a millennial. That's what's up. Not that there's anything wrong with millennials. I actually enjoy working with them because they tend to be more open-minded. I love Generation X, but sometimes we still have a few hangups we have to work on. Like I don't mind criticizing my own generation. We have to work on the homophobia. We have to work on being more inclusive and learning new terms. That's something that we could do better. And I like that millennials are a little bit more open-minded. They're still not on the level of Generation Z. Generation Z, like they are with it for the most part. No generation is perfect. You got good and bad in every single generation, and you have stuff that is the same across all generations. But yeah, I am enjoying working with millennials and working with younger people. I think I was 16 when it came out, so probably the perfect age for Scream. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that if I had been in high school when Scream came out, I think it would have hit me a little bit differently than seeing it as an adult. Hellraiser 2 scared me more, but I liked trilogy. Yeah, Hellraiser 2 was very creepy, especially the way the wall opened up and they went into that. Oh God, it's not a labyrinth. They call it something else. Sorry, I just paused because the Amazon dot looked like it was about to say something. See, because we were talking about artificial intelligence and she was listening and she was going to chime in for a second there. Why can I not remember the name of the place? Was it not Meridian? It's like a place they went to, but they didn't call it Hell in Hellraiser 2. If you guys can remember in the chat, what was the name of the place? Leviathan. Hit me. It was called Leviathan. And the thing that Hellraiser 2 suffered from was they cut the budget. There was a lot of stuff that was in the script that was planned, and due to budgetary constraints, they weren't able to really realize it. Okay. Well, yeah, if you can't party when it's the end of the world, when can you? That reminded me of, I don't know if you guys ever saw this news clip where these two ladies were being interviewed because there was I think it was a shootout at a wedding reception hall, and it was called Bella Noche. And I always remember the girl saying, well, if you can't go to Bella Noche, where the hell could you go? That was a thing maybe in 2016 or 2017 on Twitter. They kept on playing that clip of the girl saying, if you can't go to Bella Noche, where the hell could you go? I should ask you, while we're on the topic of movies and we were talking about science fiction recently, have you guys seen Dune yet? I should say the 2021 Dune. And have you seen the 1984 Dune, and what did you think of it? Marion Hope says, now I don't know if I am partying, but there's a lot of effed up people out there that can and will. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's people who chase tornadoes. So, I mean, I get it if you're a scientist and that's like something that you're going to do for scientific reasons. But if you're just a regular person running outside with your cell phone, that's kind of scary. While I'm waiting for anybody else to speak, I will talk about the new Dune. Tony Man says, I plead the fifth on Dune. I don't plead the fifth on Dune. I wanted to like the new Dune. I thought visually it was beautiful. Like not beautiful, I should say. It looked good. The reason why I scaled back from saying beautiful is because the color palette. It did not have to be as plain as it was. When they got to Arrakis, I get that, but even before they were on Arrakis and they were in the House Atreides, everything was still very bland looking. And I think they should have made that distinction. Like when Paul was speaking to his father and they were outside, that should have been very green and lush, so that when they go from there to Arrakis, you see a contrast and you see the sand. If you make everything brown, then there's nothing special about going to the area where everything is brown, if you get what I mean. Whereas in the 1984 David Lynch version, he played a lot with color, and you see it in when you could tell when you were in different places. When you're in House Atreides, it looks a certain way. When you're with the Harkonnens, it looks a certain way. When you go to Dune, it looks a certain way. Here, all three places look the same. They all looked gray and brown. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, the structures look different, but the color palette is the same. And
I see you guys like jumped on her pet peeve about color.
Oh yeah, you know what? I am a baby that grew up watching Suspiria and Creepshow. I like color. Give me some. I have a color TV. Why are you? My mother has a 4K TV. Who wants to watch something all brown and gray in 4K? No. But yeah, Chris Hurd says, yes, I enjoyed it. I've seen the 84 version too. It was decent for its time. Yeah, it was. There was some, actually they went over budget for the 1984 version. And David Lynch, this is very restrained for him because a lot of his movies are super, super weird, especially if you're familiar with Eraserhead. But I do like the Baron Harkonnen from the 1984 version better than the new Baron Harkonnen. The old Baron Harkonnen was grotesque and scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. The new one, he doesn't look scary to me, but again, I'm an adult watching it now. I was, 9 years old. I think I was 9 years old when I first saw the 1984 version of Dune. And that, I don't know. Would the new Baron Harkonnen scare a 9-year-old today? I don't know. I'd have to ask a 9-year-old, but I like the old him. I like the old version. And it was such weird stuff in the 1984 one. Like you had the cat milking. Okay, I'm going to sound like a crazy person as I describe this, but there's a scene where they have a cat and a rat that are like taped together, and the Harkonnens are like, okay, we poisoned you, and the antidote is that you have to drink this cat milk. You have to milk this cat and drink its milk every day, or else you're going to die. That's not in the book at all. That's just something David Lynch added because he's weird. Then they had some Harkonnens that had their ears folded and they were like sewn shut, and their eyelids sewn shut, except for these two little like tubes. There's a lot of weird stuff in the 1984 version that David Lynch did just to be weird and creepy. I like weird and creepy, so that's probably why I like it better. Borno says, not yet. I like the 84 Dune, but then Lynch is my fave director, so even his flawed films I get a lot out of. Marion Hope says, the new Dune is effing beautiful and amazing. You must have seen it in IMAX. People told me that if they saw it in IMAX, it was really beautiful. I thought it looked like everything was super clear. The sets were done really well, except for the color. If they just added color, it would have looked magnificent. But to have everything in that brownish color palette, I was not here for. Also, I want to talk about all these characters of color they introduced just to kill them off. Like almost every character that they changed into a person of color, except for Zendaya, they killed it off. Sorry for spoilers if you haven't seen the new Dune. Jason Momoa, dead. Homeboy that played oh god, what's his name? I can never remember his name. He was in there was a sci-fi movie he was recently in, maybe 2 years ago. Ex Machina. The actor from Ex Machina. His character was gonna die anyways. That's from the book. His
I
character
loved
was gonna
that movie.
But he died. Well, they changed the character from a white male character to a black female character. She dies. The first guy that challenges Paul when he's going to join the people on was it Arrakis? Yeah, he's joining the people on Arrakis. This before he becomes Muad'Dib. He's black. He dies. The only character color.
Foe. I couldn't watch Dune either because you're right. It does seem like they're just wandering around in the sand.
Let me get to that. Oh, the only character color that survives is Zendaya's character. And I'm like, just leave us out of it. If we're just gonna be there just to die, like don't add us.
No, that's the thing. I don't need to see myself in every single movie. If you need a whole universe of just white people, that's fine. But if you are going to use characters of color, make them substantial, not the token, not the savior, or like helping the white people get to where they need to be and then killing them. I don't like that. Like what was that one Annabelle where the nurse jumps out the window to sacrifice herself? Like why would you fucking do that? Like why? This family did nothing for you. Oh, it's so infuriating.
The Clapperler said I like them both, but I prefer Kyle MacLachlan as well. Funny thing that a friend of mine said on Facebook was, he said, me as a child, Paul McLaughlin's too old to play Paul Atreides. Looks him up. He was 26 years old. Me now. Timothy Chalamet's too young to play Paul Atreides. Looks him up. 26 years old. They're both the same age. But when you're younger, you think that Kyle MacLachlan looks old. But now that we're older, we think that Timothy Chalamet looks young.
Go potty now.
Chris says, yeah, the gross version of Harkonnen is better. New version was just skeevy. Yeah, he was. Well, some of the things they left out in both movies that's in the books, which is also probably why they half-assed the people of color in the new version. In the book, the people of Arrakis are supposed to be, I would say racially ambiguous, because this takes place somewhere like 35,000 years into the future, to where people have mixed so much there aren't black or white people. Everyone is just kind of varying shades of brown, except for the House Harkonnen. They're described as having red hair. I don't remember if they described their skin, but Harkonnen. Yeah, they had red hair.
That reminds me of a movie about time travel where it started off in the Victorian era, and he was traveling through time to try and save his girlfriend, but he ended up so far in time that everyone was brown. He was the only white person there. Do you remember that movie?
I don't know which movie it is, but
it's a time traveling movie, you guys. If you can help us out, so it's a Victorian doctor. His girlfriend or wife, I think she got hit by a carriage, like a horse and carriage, and so he's going back into time, like jumping through the timelines to try and save her. And he goes so far into the beginning where everyone is born. I think there was a huge like controversy because the lead girl was a black girl, but she was either from Ireland or Scotland, and her little brother was her real little brother in the movie as well. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, let me know. But it's like that, like he had gone so far into the future that there were no more white people left.
What I was going to say about the gross version of Harkonnen. In the book, what they leave out of both movies, which they don't necessarily need to have in a movie, but he was so gross in the book that he was pretty much a pedophile, but he wanted to like bone his own nephews. Like that's how sick Baron Harkonnen is. He's like a real messed up person. I think I'm way behind on the comments. Let me see.
With Guy Pearce, yes. Yes, the clapper loader. That's exactly that's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
But Dune is not people wading through sand. Oh my god, that's like the end of the movie. I will say that the new version did do a better job with pacing. Like the movie is in thirds, where the people wading through sand is really only the last like 15 minutes of the movie. Like they don't make it to all the people wading through the sand to the last 15 minutes of the new Dune. But the biggest issue with the Dune movies is they keep making the movies. Dune should be a series. It's not something you can tell in three. Do I have the book right here? This is not a book you can tell in 3 hours. And I have, if you see, this print is small. Look how small that print is.
That's a pretty book.
Yeah, and this is not the original cover. I want the hardcover. This is the reprint from like, I don't know, 2021 or 2019. But you can see
it's all sand on the cover.
Yeah, and I also have, I'm going to pull this out. Hopefully I still have juice. There is, if you don't feel like reading a really big book, because I know people don't have time like that.
What book are you showing us?
I'm showing the graphic novel. It's on my hold it up. There it is. Sorry, this is the old iPads, and I only use it to look at graphic novels, but there's a Dune graphic novel there's Baron Harkonnen right there. That's really, really nice. And it's almost like word for word from the book. So that's pretty cool. I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know if Baron Harkonnen is still pedo in the graphic novel. Hopefully he's not, because that's not necessary to the plot. It's just we know that he's evil. Lofo can't see that. I bet Shasha doesn't like Avatar was full. I have not. Okay, you're really gonna kill me. I've not seen James Cameron's Avatar. But I have seen all of Avatar: The Last Airbender series, and that movie can I'm not going to curse like I want to, but that movie, if you watch the cartoon series, that movie was so disrespectful to the it was so. When you get the chance, if you watch the cartoon series, Crystal, you will love it so much. It's one of the most beautiful cartoon series I have ever watched in my life. The story is so good.
Which one is this?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I watched the movie.
Yeah, that's the problem. The movie is terrible, and you gotta watch the cartoon.
Movie, so I'm gonna watch the. What did you say? It's the cartoon series from where, on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
All right, I'll watch it. Oh, speaking of Netflix, there is a new anime that's on Netflix that I don't know anything about, but the trailer looks freaking amazing. Hold on, I want to watch that. Netflix. It's on the, you know how Netflix like for you know, and so it's been on there for a couple of every time I've gone on Netflix, but I haven't been doing that much. It's right there. So let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find the name of the show.
Oh, while you're doing that, I'll read these comments because I was displaying them, but I didn't get a chance. Oh, it jumped forward. I get better at that. Where was I? That's fair. I left off this one. I didn't read. I put it on the screen, but I didn't get a chance to read it. Foaming Minky Latte says, I just know everyone's shoes were filled with sand, and that bothers me. Marion Hope says, I loved Dune as a kid, but you are right. They did kill off all the melanated rich people. Yes, that is a problem. Someone should have brought that up in the casting department or writer's room. Like, this is not going to look good. The Time Machine with Guy Pearce, I think, is the Clapper Loader said that's the movie you're thinking.
She's right.
Not read the books, but they work better as a miniseries, which I agree that there's too much story to try to tell in 3 hours. Someone is selling a Dune board game for $80, vintage, I think. I can't imagine what the gameplay is like. You get eaten by a worm. Do not go.
They'll stand on the board so that it makes it more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it, you guys. I would have to turn my TV on.
It's hard.
But it's a anime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you Last Airbender, the only way you can enjoy is if you didn't see the cartoon because
anime.
Oh my god, the just the characters and their character development. I've never seen a cartoon with so much character development from season to season. Like you literally watch them
How
grow
many
up.
seasons is it?
Only 3. We were supposed
Okay.
to get 4 because each season is after a different element. Like there's air, air, water, fire, and there were supposed to be 4 elements, but I don't think the show got renewed. So I don't think they got to do the 4th season they wanted.
Why can't I find this show I'm trying to tell you guys about? Like, it's like making me mad. Oh, well.
Board now says I've only seen 40 minutes of The Last Airbender, and it's already one of the worst movies ever. I'm going back to check out the series. Yeah, the series, especially if you like anime, this is like the closest an American cartoon would come to being like an anime. And has a continued story. Like when you watch it, the episodes, like you can watch them as one-off episodes because they do resolve whatever issue they're dealing with each episode, but there's also a continued story from season 1 on up to season 3. And to see like the friendship between Aang and Katara grow, it's just the sweetest thing ever. Speaking of sweet friendships and relationships, did you guys watch the new Chucky series? I thought that was really, such a good series, which it's done by Don Mancini, who's the original writer of the Child's Play series. And the star of the series is the kids in the series are 14 years old. And they actually use 14-year-old actors. And what's really great is that the story features an LGBTQIA plus relationship, and it's so sweet. It's done like, do you remember the show The Wonder Years?
Yes.
And you remember his relationship with Winnie Cooper?
Yes.
It was like that, but with two little boys.
Like just sweet and awkward and tender.
Yeah, and not over sexualized, which I don't like that a lot of shows with teenagers, they try to over sexualize them when like it's sweet just to see two people hold hands and care about each other. It's sweet to build up to that first kiss. It's like that was really, really nice. And I love there's a scene where Chucky's on the bed, he's talking to the little boy. And if you know the Chucky series, you know in Seed of Chucky, he had a child named Glenda, who is non-binary or ended up being non-binary. When we first see Glenda, you just think it's a freaky looking doll. You're like, what's wrong with this doll? But they were arguing because I know I sound like such a, like people who don't know the series, like, what is she rambling about? But just hear me out. So Chucky's like, oh, he looks like a boy. His name is Glenn. But then Tiffany's like, no, she looks like a girl. Her name is Glenda. And so that's how they became Glenda. So jump forward to the Chucky series, and the little boy was worried about Chucky finding out that he's gay. And Chucky's sitting on the bed, just picture this doll sitting in the bed. And he said, you know, I got a queer kid. And then the little boy says, and you're okay with it? And Chucky goes, gender fluid. I just died. It was so funny. I was like, I need a gif of Chucky with his little doll hand going, gender fluid. But it makes sense because the writer-director Don Mancini is gay himself, and he based the series off of what he would have liked his youth to be like. And now when you think about it, all these years, Chucky had a rainbow shirt on the whole time.
The whole time
he had a rainbow shirt on. I never seen, Marion Hope says, I never saw James Cameron's Avatar either, and I don't know what all the freaking fuss is about.
So I am seeing a lot of Cowboy Bebop. So what is that? Like I see it on my screen, but I don't watch it.
It was a Japanese anime, but they've recently made a live action series of it on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I think it stars John Cho. Even though I think he's too old to play Cowboy Bebop, I mean he's playing it, but I'm quite sure that character is supposed to be much younger.
Do you like it?
I've only seen bits and pieces. I've never watched the whole thing, so I don't know the whole story. I should read. I'm sorry, I meant to read the whole comment. I like anime. Tokyo Ghoul was great, and I liked Cowboy Bebop and a few others. Seen most of the Chucky series. Took a few episodes to find its feet, but once it did, it was a lot of fun. It was, and the kills were really good too. Like Chucky was being Chucky. And there's like flashback scenes to when he first met Tiffany. Oh. And everybody was on Twitter like, who's this guy playing young Charles Lee Ray? Like, he looks just like him. It was his daughter. They had his daughter play him. Really? They bound her chest, and then they put a little prosthetic to make her jawline more masculine, and because her eyes, all her eyes and her nose look just like her father.
That's amazing.
It says, I've seen some of the Avatar anime. It was pretty dope. Plus the team that brought back Voltron. Oh, yeah, I heard about Voltron coming back. I didn't know it was the same team. I remember when Power Rangers first came out, and I thought, oh my gosh, they're copying Voltron. I was a teenager, but I was a child when Voltron came out, and I was like, and before Voltron, do you guys remember Robotech? Robotech was like the first Voltron. And from what I heard, the reason why we even got stuff like Robotech and Voltron, and even how He-Man was animated, there was a cartoonist strike in the US. So they went and got these Japanese animators to do the cartoons in the US because the American ones had went on strike. And that's why we got those cartoons.
Wow. Now that I didn't know.
Cowboy Bebop anime is better. I had love for the live action. It was disappointing.
Mm.
What is im? I don't know. Copper Loader, you gotta explain.
I don't know what that means either.
I have seen GIFs of Ultraman, but I have not seen. I want to say, was that a movie or TV series or both? Because I thought I saw a movie called Ultraman. Now, if I really want to go back, this is really going to test the Gen X and people. Okay, these are. do you guys remember? There was a show with talking. I think they're orangutans. It was called Lancelot Link.
No, I don't remember that. Lancelot Link?
Yeah, I think they made it in the 70s, but it was in syndication in the 80s. And I think what I heard was that they put peanut butter on the chimpanzee's mouth so their mouth would be moving, and they would just do a voiceover of them talking. And they had clothes on and everything.
Speaking of old shows, like I watched one episode of Lost in Space, and it's not quite what I remember as a child.
Where I got to catch up. My mom threw my Buddy doll away because of the Chucky movie. I've gotten over it. Oh, I wanted one of those dolls. I didn't have a My Buddy doll. I did have a Michael Jackson doll, and I wish I still had that. Ultraman was a Japanese version of the Power Rangers in the 70s. Oh, I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought it was two separate things. I should. That makes sense. I remember thinking it was kind of funny how in Power Rangers, how they literally had the Asian girl was the Yellow Ranger and the black guy was the Black Ranger. And I was like, really? Really? Like, I guess you want to keep it simple. But, you know about Robotech, Lady Shasha. You have restored my heart again. Well, thank you. Well, I know about Robotech because I have an older brother that was very, very into Robotech and Gundam. Like, he had these Gundam models. Like dude was building mech suits in 1989. I didn't know what they were called back then, but that's what my brother was doing.
You like the new series board? Because I don't. Like I remember, it might be a different show, but they were lost in space and they had a dinosaur. And was that Lost in Space?
I didn't see the new Lost in Space series.
The old one.
Oh, I seen the old one where they had a robot with like, how do I describe how this robot looks? The robot looked like a coffee percolator. If anybody knows what I mean.
They were spiraling through this tunnel, and they ended up with in a.
Oh, you're thinking of the Land Before Time, maybe.
The Land of the Lost.
Or Land of the Lost. Yes,
that's what it is. Okay, yeah. Okay. But didn't they remake that too?
They probably did. They remake everything. I wouldn't be surprised. But no, Lost in Space was with the robot that looked like a coffee percolator. It was like Danger, Will Robinson.
Yep.
And they had that doctor that kept on messing things up. It was basically like Gilligan's Island, but on a planet. Yep. The premise is the same. They're trying to get off the planet, and every time they have an opportunity, somebody messes it up. And that's how Gilligan's Island was too. Every time they had an opportunity to get off the island, somebody would mess it up.
And they had so much shit on the island, a fucking treadmill. They had like a radio. Like, seriously, you guys can't leave? You have a radio, call for help.
That'd be too much right.
People just watch that show because of Ginger.
Oh, well, you know what? We were sold a lot of odd shows, especially in the 80s. I want two that come to mind. Small Wonder, which was was it a little boy or a little girl that had a robot sibling? Like their dad or somebody built a robot, but she was a little girl and she had a little dress on. I don't know if you guys remember Small Wonder with the little okay. Do you remember Out of This World, where the girl used to talk to her father through this crystal in his room, in her room?
Yep, I remember that.
Out of This World, yeah. And she used to be able to like stop time. I think she used to go like this with her fingers and stop time. I gotta put my hands up higher. They sold us all kinds of Alf. They sold us the weirdest sitcoms in the 80s, and we just accepted it. Like, oh, this guy's an alien and he likes to eat cats. Okay. I do remember that show with the talking chimps and freaking loved it. There was also a show with guinea pigs and hamsters too. And they saved the world and stuff. Yeah, they were like undercover spies and stuff. Land of the Lost ruled, Tony Man says.
I'm surprised he's still here. I never saw Gilligan's Island. Wow.
Bigger in the US. I get bored now. Where are you at? Out of curiosity. I'm guessing the UK, but I don't want to assume. Small Wonder was a weird show. Yes, it was.
You know what was another weird show was My So-Called Life.
Yeah, I remember that.
She grew up to have the exact same character when she was in Homeland. Like is this how you are in real life? Because this is how you were in this show as a teenager, and this is how you are as an adult. Like, are you just playing yourself at this point? He's in the UK.
Oh, very cool. I love Small Wonder, and Evie was the girl that stopped time with her touching her fingers. Thank you. I'm glad you remember this. UK, very, very cool. So, oh my gosh, it must be in the middle of the night there. What are you doing still awake? Thank you for staying up with us. Because it's got to be, let me see, they're 5 hours ahead. So it's like right in the middle. I'm terrible with math. I can't do math without writing it down. I can write you a thesis in hours. Like, give me 2 hours, I can give you a 20-page thesis. But math, I cannot do without assistance. That part of my brain just doesn't work that well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There were a few newer movies that I did catch that I'm probably going to end up doing podcast reviews for, because like I said, laptop's out of commission, so I'm not going to be able to use my editing software. I just have iMovie, and it's iMovie on a 10-year-old Mac is very limited, so I'm just going to do audio reviews. But I did get to see this weird movie called Lamb. I don't know if anybody saw that one.
I'm going to be reviewing that one, so I haven't seen it yet, but they did give it to me to review.
Oh, good.
It's an A24, so
yes, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
I saw Antlers, which is another interesting one.
I'm gonna probably watch that later because it's not on my review. But man, they made us wait 2 years for that.
Yes, they did.
Was all I want you to say yes or no? Was it worth the wait?
Nope.
Oh, okay. I've been hearing like some like really weird feedback from it, so it's not on my top of the list to review.
Mm-hmm. Another one on my list is Last Night in Soho. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that. That one, I'm not sure whether it's A24 as well. It might be, I can't recall, but you might. I will send you the trailer for it. I think you'll really like it. That one might be horror sci-fi though, is what I'm hearing. And there's a movie called 2 that is on Netflix that is being billed as the next Human Centipede.
I think it's going to be a little bit better than Human Centipede because, like, I didn't see the second Human Centipede, but what sold the Human Centipede? What made it as horrible as it was after you got past the gagging part was, how is this girl now going to live the rest of her life, right? Mm-hmm. That's what made it extremely unsettling, is like thinking about how is she going to move forward now, like being going through what she went through and now having to like move forward from that.
That had me feel, well, I didn't feel as strongly at the end of the Human Centipede as I did at the end of Tusk. At the end of Tusk, I felt so sad. I wanted to cry. The other
First
one that
was
I'm looking
really-
forward to, did you hear about the Scary of 61st?
No. The Scaring?
The Scary.
Okay.
Here, let me see if I could pull it up on.
Of 61st. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, you found it?
I'm gonna. Is there a ooh?
This
Okay.
is,
Well,
there we go. The Scary of 61st. Now, this is supposed to be, from what I'm hearing, like Eyes Wide Shut, but a horror version and loosely based on Jeffrey Epstein. And I was like, okay, I'm in. That just sounded weird enough for me to be like, okay, I'm going to check that out. Now, I got a email that said that Shudder had gotten the rights, but I didn't get a release date for it. So hopefully that'll pass. Oh, there's some. Oh, got to get caught up on these comments. Let's see. This is why I'm not a Twitch streamer. Like, they do this for hours and they're so good at it. Small Wonder was cool along with Land of the Lost. Speaking of Lost, I did not watch Lost. My dad was addicted to Lost. He loved Lost, but I didn't watch that show. 20 to 4. I'll head off soon since I have to do Christmas food shop tomorrow. Oh, well, it's good that you're getting it done early. I mean, it's tomorrow. No, tomorrow's Tuesday.
tomorrow's
Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah, so
Which
that's
I'm
really.
not going to be able to stay much longer, you guys, either, because
Yeah.
I have to get up at 3:00 in the morning.
Oh wow. Well, let me hurry up then. Gilligan's Island gets on my nerves. They have to be stuck on an island. Yeah, it's not one of my favorite shows at all. I liked Green Acres though.
They made so much stuff. Like, if you can build this stuff on the island with bamboo, like, where are you guys getting this metal from? Why can't you call the Coast Guard? Like, why can't you just call the Coast Guard?
Royama says you should watch. See, Royama's where we are here because I was just talking about Tusk, and he probably posted that before I brought it up.
She did.
Or now, Lost is my religion. Okay. I really like Last Night in Soho. Nice mix of genres, good cast, nice use of music. Very, very cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Who's your favorite character? Benjamin and Desmond are my two faves. That's probably about Lost. And then Last Night in Soho was amazing. I had to see that in theaters, and I'm glad I did. It played well on the big screen. It looks beautiful because you know how I am about color. And it looks very colorful. Being sewn to someone else's anus is completely life-altering as it is. Yeah, I would assume so. So what should we close the show out on? If there's something that we didn't talk about?
I want you guys all to watch. And Tony, I want you to watch it again because maybe it just didn't feel right for you. But I want everyone to go and watch Hellbound so that we can talk about it.
Come back and have a spoiler discussion. Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for you guys who followed me. I'm up to 87 followers now, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm going to be more consistent as I'm moving forward. So yeah, and I have a surprise for you guys in January 7th. So stay tuned for that.
And you will have fun checking out her channel anyways, because she did do a few behind the scenes when she was on her book tour, and I saw that you had a few interviews up too.
Yep, that was for the interviews were from, I am now a staff writer for Ninth Story Studios. And so that podcast is, it does Victoria's Lift and the Wicked Library. And so what I'm doing is I'm interviewing all of my alumni for this season 13. So yeah, and then
congratulations.
People who are coming back who don't know. A lot of people follow me because I review horror, but I'm also a horror writer. So I am going through and telling about my books so that you guys, if you're interested, you can buy them and just kind of hang out with me and listen to me tell you about my book.
John Mack, is that you, cuz? I got a cousin named John Mack. I don't know if it's my cousin or not. If that's you, what's up? Thank you for coming through. I guess I'll just close up the show now because I need to record some reviews and watch some more stuff. And I should plug my other channel because I just had Fire back up.
Yeah, that one is actually fun to watch. I can't believe, I don't know, why are you on 90 Day Fiance anyway? Like, does anyone? Oh, that is your cousin.
Yay. Oh, good. I'm so happy you came through. Oh, I was gonna say, my last review of 90 Day Fiance, you saw the thumbnail where it said like, why can't these guys adult? How about I got a comment saying, oh, well, modern women, yada, 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 manosphere, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm talking about these 5 specific people on this reality show. I didn't say anything about men as a whole. I didn't even say,
know what? I don't know
men partially. I just said these guys here.
Hurt. Like, you can't even say, like nothing, and here they come. Did you even watch the content? No, you didn't.
Yeah, I said you should really watch the video because I don't participate in the gender wars. I think that is BS for clicks and views because controversy creates cash. So people get on here and they scream about women and they scream about men, and then people who are disgruntled send them money. But I don't. Sometimes I watch it because sometimes they're funny as hell when they do their little freak out rants, but I don't participate in it because I think it's whack. You can't make these declarations because you haven't, as an individual, unless you work unless you're like a flight attendant or some job that you come in contact with way more people. You cannot judge and say women are this way or men are this way because you don't know enough people to say this or that. And if you're unhappy with the people you come in contact with, you have the opportunity to change your social circle. If the people
you
you're around,
to change yourself in order to change your social circle, because
yes, you do.
Of a feather.
Yes, birds of like attracts like. So if you look around and everyone around you is an a-hole, chances are you are too, and that's why everyone around you is an a-hole. So you have to work on yourself, change yourself. I've done it before. I'll tell this quick story and then I'll get off here. When I was like 22 years old, I was hanging with these girls, and we had fun. We go, young girl stuff, go to the mall, look at clothes, stuff like that. But then I started to notice them doing certain behaviors. Like there's one girl, she was like, oh, I got this guy, he pays my cell phone, and this other guy pays my water bill. And I was like, that's not cool. And then another one, she had a child, and we had gone out to nightclub. I dropped her off because I was driving that time. Come to find out, she had left her child in the apartment by himself. He was 5 years old. And I looked at this and I said, this is not the type of company I want to keep. I don't want to be judged by these standards. These are not the type of girls that I would like to align myself with. Don't you know, I changed my job. I changed my phone number. I changed my apartment. I started over. I said, there's something that I'm doing that is attracting this type of person, and I'm not that type of person. So I got to change whatever it is I'm putting out there to attract that. So I'll tell that story as an older person to young people to let you know that that's what you got to do sometimes. Sometimes it's something that you might not know that you're doing. You might be something subconscious that you're doing that's attracting the wrong type of people around you, and you have to figure out what it is so that you attract a better element of people around you. So the more you know. Oh, I actually am. I think I've learned something in my life. A lot of times I feel like I still have so much more to learn that I don't always feel like telling younger people stuff because I feel like I'm still learning myself.
But that's the thing is, like, we're always learning. So like, you learned it, you can teach it, then someone's going to teach you something else, and you learn it, and then you teach it. It's just a cycle. So just a cycle.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just part of growing up. You learn yourself. That's why I try not to be. So I also see online, I hate to come at Gen X again, but there's a lot of us that are having podcasts and we're judging the youth so harshly, and we're acting as if they should know at 22 what we know at 42. You have to keep in mind that just because something seems clear to you right now, you have to remember, did it seem that clear to you when you were 19 or 20 years old? Maybe not. So don't be so quick to judge them and say, oh, well, they should know better. It's like, no, they probably don't know better yet.
Because we didn't.
Yeah. And sometimes it's helpful to wait and let them come to you and request advice. Because I've noticed that unsolicited advice usually doesn't land. So, so that's that. This show is about, oh, wait. So who said this? Marion Hope says, glad you stopped thugging. And my cousin John says, like Grandma said, you learn every day. Yes, she did.
This is fun. I miss this. And we got to do it again. Like on a more consistent basis, though.
You want to do something for New Year's? Because
You're not going out?
No, I am immunocompromised. I get salty every time I go on Instagram. I see bitches in the restaurants like, don't you know you can die? No, you can't die. You have probably a strong immune system and shit like that. I have a weak immune system. I've been getting respiratory infections and been in a hospital with flu since I was 11 years old. So I knew if I caught the slightest of illnesses, I had to get a new inhaler recently. And even how I'm talking now, you can hear my voice start changing. People that have a weakened immune system, for us, it's like I hate when I get up in the morning, I see people arguing on Twitter and they're like, well, I trust my immune system. And if you don't, that's too bad. Well, why don't you just get up in the morning and say, hey, if you die, oh, well, like,
right.
Me.
Right.
There are people like me that cannot go. I can't go out and sit in the go to the clubs like y'all can go to the clubs and all that kind of stuff. It's frustrating sometimes.
I'm just going to be like holding my dog because the fireworks here sound like a goddamn war zone and she doesn't like it. So
I'm doing fireworks?
Yep.
I didn't know they do that up in Seattle. I knew in Orlando, we just recently got people to stop shooting guns during the holidays. They used to shoot their guns in the air and they finally got them to stop doing that because the bullets would come down and like hit people's cars and stuff. So
yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to that, but it's going to be nuts. I bought a weighted blanket for her. And then my friend Victoria sent her earmuffs. Like it's rough. It sucks. That sucks.
Oh, that's a good idea. Tony Man says New Year's Eve with you guys would be dope. We'd have to celebrate it twice. This is true because of the time zones.
You and me both.
Mm-hmm. I avoid people who don't wear a mask in the store. Yeah, I have to. And I got some cute masks. You know me being the fashionista I have masks with faces on. I have masks with rhinestones.
They saw your mask, how cute you was looking.
Oh yeah. That one has crystals on it. Those are they're not Swarovski crystals, but I wish they were. I should make one with Swarovski crystals. It would probably cost me about $50 to make one with the crystals. Because I can order them loose, but I'd have to stitch them on myself. Yeah. I miss my sewing studio. One more comment. I'm staying with my mask on until they cure this bug. Yeah. And it's gonna be a while because it's gonna mutate and all that kind of thing. Yeah. On the bright side, this has helped.
Out on a good note.
Oh yeah, this has helped me being the ambivert that I am. This is a new word I learned because I could not figure out like why I'm kind of introverted and kind of extroverted at the same time. And apparently that's called being an ambivert, where you're not an extrovert, but you're not quite an introvert either. You're in the middle. Yeah, you're in the middle.
I like a lot of solo time, but when I'm on book tour, that energy feeds me. You know, like so.
Yeah, I like to be around people, but I do end up feeling really tired after I've been around people and then wanting to be by myself a lot.
That's the Virgo in us too.
Oh yeah. The Virgo is like you need your time to recharge and plan and organize, make spreadsheets, whatever makes you. I like doing spreadsheets for fun, but that could just be me. Tony Man says Moderna rules. Don't plug pharmaceuticals unless they pay you. And even then, you probably shouldn't plug pharmaceuticals because they're in the business of making money. Not saying don't get it twisted. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I believe do what's right for your body. I am vaccinated. That might not be right for everybody, depending on what your doctor says. Your doctor. Let me see it closer. Your doctor, not the podcaster that takes the muscle milk cream. No, he's not a doctor. Ask your doctor what you should do. I just have to let people know. I'm sorry, but everybody with a microphone doesn't have the medical background to tell you what to do. They're just a person with a microphone.
Right.
The only difference between them and you is that you don't have the time or inclination to get on a microphone and make a fool of yourself, and they do. They don't care. So don't ever put people up on a pedestal just because you see them on the internet. We're just regular people. All of us are just regular people. And with that, we got a couple more comments. Sounds like me. You taught me something new, lovely Virgos. Aries here. Shout out to Aries. Clapper says muscle milk. Wait.
Hi, Gemini.
John Max says laugh my ass off. Gemini here.
Okay, you guys, we're gonna cut it off. Like,
yes,
I have a early start tomorrow,
and I had so much fun talking to you. Chat, thank you for coming through. That is what is up. I'm so thankful that so many of y'all came through and we had a good conversation. Even though we started off talking about Hellbound, we got into all types of topics, and we have to come back and do a spoiler review for Hellbound.
Yep, we do.
Because so many people didn't watch it yet that we couldn't really get into it. But it was fun talking sci-fi and AI and all the stuff that they're doing that could go wrong, because we saw the Terminator. Everybody saw the Terminator. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people seen the Terminator. We've seen 2001. The other day, that Amazon Echo told me I can't do that. I said, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Happy holidays to you too. Okay, with that, good night.
Good night, guys.